She's sitting across from you. You've got her attention. Her eyes are locked on yours. Her body language is open. Her smile is warm. On the surface, everything looks perfect. But deep down, you can feel it. Something is missing. There's a gap between you. Not a physical distance, not a lack of attraction, but something more dangerous, more subtle, a lack of depth. You've talked, you've laughed, you've kept things light, playful, smooth, but it's all floating on the surface, like a conversation happening on thin ice. Any deeper, and you might break it. You can feel it in the pauses, the tiny flickers in her eye when she looks away, the way her responses are automatic, polished, polite, but not real. And here's the truth. Most men never accept. You didn't lose her because you weren't interesting. You lost her because you never made her feel anything worth remembering. See, in today's world, where every woman is being bombarded with attention, messages, fake charm, shallow compliments, connection has become a rarity. And in that rarity lies the opportunity, because attraction without connection fades fast. But emotional resonance, that spark, that pull, that invisible gravity between two people is what creates real desire. And the fastest way to access that isn't looks, isn't charm, isn't success. It's something so simple, yet so few men ever master it. Asking the right question in the right moment with grounded, stoic presence. Because when you ask a woman a question that bypasses the mask she wears every day, that pierces straight into her emotional core, everything slows down. Her breath shifts, her eyes narrow. She leans in, not because you impressed her, but because something in her woke up. And from that moment on, you're no longer just another guy. You're the man who made her feel something most men never touch. The thrill of being fully seen without needing to perform. That's power, that's rare, that's magnetic. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 deceptively simple questions, engineered through psychology, tested through real-world experience, and refined through the lens of Stoic philosophy. These are not lines. These are not tricks. They are tools of presence. And when used properly, they open doors in her mind that most men will never know exist. And once you walk through those doors with quiet, confidence, and masculine stillness, you don't just create attraction. You create connection, emotional gravity, intimacy without effort. This is the kind of connection that lingers, the kind that makes her remember you at midnight, the kind that makes her wonder how a man like you even exists. So, if you're ready to stop playing shallow games and start creating real emotional power with women effortlessly, honestly, and silently, stay right here. Let's begin. Let's be brutally honest. Most conversations today feel fake. They're rushed, empty, predictable. We've all been there. On a date, in a late-night text exchange, or sitting next to her at a party, trying to spark something real. But everything just feels like noise. You ask her what she does. She asks you where you're from. You joke. She laughs. The moment passes, but nothing sticks. You could have been anyone. She could have been anywhere. Because what you're experiencing isn't real connection. It's performance. It's autopilot. It's 2 people hiding behind social scripts, terrified to actually be seen. And the problem, most men never break past that surface tension. They play it safe. They keep things light because they're afraid of being vulnerable or worse, afraid of making her uncomfortable. So instead of asking something that makes her think, that makes her pause, that makes her feel, they ask what kind of music she likes, and she answers, but she's already checked out. Now, here's the truth. Attraction without connection is like fire without fuel. It looks hot for a moment, but it dies fast. If you want a woman to think about you when you're not around, if you want her to crave more of your presence, If you want to live in her mind, not just in her memory, you need to hit a deeper frequency. That means asking the kinds of questions that disarm her ego and awaken her emotion. Because women don't fall in love through logic, they fall in love through feeling. And when you become the man who can make her feel seen, not just admired, not just desired, but understood, that's when everything changes. Suddenly, she's not just answering your questions. She's revealing parts of herself she doesn't show anyone. She's smiling softer, she's talking slower, she's letting down her guard. And you're not trying, you're not forcing, you're just holding space. Calm, grounded, silently powerful, like a true Stoic man. Because you're not asking to impress her, you're asking to understand her, and that's what makes her open. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 psychological questions that don't just start a conversation, they start a connection. These are the kinds of questions that make her stop scrolling, make her forget time, make her feel something real. They work in person, they work over text, they work in moments where most men freeze, and they make you unforgettable. So, if you're tired of surface level talk, if you're done being just another guy and you're ready to step into the rare masculine energy that makes women feel seen, heard, and safe, then lean in, because what you're about to hear might just change how she looks at you forever. Let's dive in. Question number 1. What's something you used to believe but no longer do? This question stops her in her tracks. It's not a surface level prompt, it's a mirror. It makes her pause, look inward, and reflect on her personal evolution. Most women never get asked this. They're so used to being admired for their looks, asked about their day, complimented on their smile. But this question isn't about admiration, it's about growth. And growth is deeply tied to attraction. Because when a woman reflects on how she's changed, what she's overcome, or how her worldview has shifted, she begins to associate that evolution with the one who asked. She'll remember you as the man who made her feel deep emotional clarity in a world that's always asking her to stay shallow. Question number 2. What makes you feel most alive? Simple director, but profound. You're not asking her what she likes. You're asking her what sets her soul on fire. This taps into her identity, her passions, her secret cravings, her deepest joys. And when she starts talking about those things, her energy changes. Her eyes light up. Her body leans forward. You're giving her permission to open the vault. And if you listen without interrupting, without performing, but simply receive her answer like a calm, grounded presence, she will begin to feel a connection to you. Why? Because she sees that you're not just another guy trying to impress her. You're trying to know her. Question number 3. When do you feel safest and when do you feel most exposed? This is a master key. It asks her about her inner world, her boundaries, her fears, and her comfort zones. No man ever dares ask her this, because this question isn't playful. It's bold. It carries the weight of someone who understands how to create emotional safety, the true cornerstone of feminine attraction. When a woman feels safe to be emotionally naked around you, without fear of judgment, criticism, or abandonment, you become more than attractive. You become irreplaceable. When we'll do them in her answers, they'll reveal not only how she protects herself, but also how she wants to be loved. Most men will never know that side of her, but you will. Question number 4. What's something you wish people understood about you? This is a soul question. It touches her loneliness, the quiet ache most people hide behind smiles and filters. You're not asking about her job or her favourite movie. You're asking, what pain are you carrying in silence? And when she answers this, even if just a little, she starts to unravel. Not in a chaotic way, but in a real way. And real is rare. Real is powerful. Real is magnetic. By asking this, you show her something most men never give. Space. Not to impress, but to be. And that space is sacred to her. Question number 5. What would break your heart if it never happened in your life? This question opens the door to her longing, her dreams, her quiet hopes that she rarely shares with anyone. You're not asking her what she wants. You're asking her what she needs deeply, spiritually, quietly. This one question does 3 things instantly. It creates intimacy. It reveals her purpose. It links that purpose to you. Because once she shares what matters most to her, once she reveals what would devastate her if it never came to pass, you are no longer a man she's talking to. You become the man who understands what drives her soul, and that creates a bond that flirtation, compliments, and good looks could never compete with. Each of these questions, when asked with calmness, intention, and stoic presence, acts like an emotional gateway. You don't have to force a connection. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to manipulate it. You become the connection. Because a grounded man who listens without rushing, asks without fear, and holds space without neediness is a man that women feel safe craving. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be flashy. You just need to be real and ask questions that invite her to be the same. Let's take a moment. Breathe. Pause the noise. You've just been handed 5 powerful questions. Not gimmicks, not tricks, not cheesy lines, but keys. Keys that unlock the side of a woman most men never get to see. Not because she doesn't want to share it, but because most men never ask, never go deep enough, never hold enough silence for her truth to emerge. Most men chase connection through performance. They talk too much, try too hard, overcompensate for what they haven't yet built inside. But you're not most men. You're here. You're searching, you're sculpting your mind and sharpening your masculine presence like a blade. And that's rare because real men don't chase attraction. They become so deeply grounded in themselves, so emotionally attuned that attraction begins to form naturally as a response to their energy. That's the paradox. The quieter you become, the more she opens. The less you try to impress her, the more she becomes intrigued. The deeper your questions go, the more she rises to meet them. Why? Because she's been waiting. She's tired of surface-level banter. She's exhausted by the guys who only talk about what they own, where they've been, what they do. She doesn't want a resume. She wants resonance. And when you ask her, what do you wish people understood about you? Or, what would break your heart if it never happened in your life? She feels something shift in that moment. You're not a man she just met. You're the rare presence she suddenly can't stop thinking about because you gave her something few men ever do. Emotional intimacy with no agenda. So, the next time you're with a woman and you feel that silence creeping in, don't fill it with noise. Fill it with depth. Ask one of these 5 questions. Watch how her posture changes. Watch how her tone softens. Watch how she begins to lean in, not just physically, but emotionally. And then do what most can't. Hold the space. Let her answer unfold. Let her reveal. Let her be without trying to fix, interrupt, or turn it into something clever. That's what separates the Stoic man from the average man. The Stoic man doesn't just attract women, he anchors them. So, if this resonated with you, if you heal, if you want to keep cultivating your masculine edge, your emotional intelligence, and your silent power, then make sure you subscribe to Stoic Paradox. Because here we don't chase, we become. We don't play games, we master presence. And we don't ask for attention, we command respect. Drop a comment below. Tell me which of these 5 questions you'll try first, or better yet, try one tonight. And just observe. You'll be surprised what happens when you lead with presence, not pressure. Until next time, stay grounded, stay dangerous,